If I knew dating would be so bad in my 30s, I would have put in a little bit more effort in my 20s.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
Transitioning into your selfish era.
I have a question. Can we go back to the times when multiple men would compete for one woman?
Absolutely not. The selection men would have to pick from aren't worthy of such treatment.
If I knew that dating was going to be this bad, I would have stayed with my boyfriend from kindergarten.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need to stop being scared to get married.
There is something very freeing about being in your 30s and being single.
Every woman says that. Until it's time for them looking for a man, it's a facade they put on. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
If I knew dating would be so bad in my 30s, I would have put in a little bit more effort in my 20s. Some guy out here wants to meet me for drinks at 9 p.m. on a Monday. Sir, 9 p.m. on a Monday? No.
Fucking hate using this skill saw. So my hair is a frazzle and I am sweating to death. But I did it. That had to have been and look how close in the concrete. That had to have been the hardest thing I've ever tried to accomplish.
Congrats.
One thing about me, I am delusional. I am delusional and I do not care because baby, after 1 week, that is my man. I love him and we're going to get married. And I don't care how nobody say. That's probably why I get my heart broken.
I have a question. Can we go back to the times when multiple men would compete for one woman in courtship, where one woman would get courted and go on dates and get to know a few men, and then at the end of it, one of the men makes a commitment, an engagement? But what happened to that? Can we go back to that?
That, honestly, would be the biggest mistake ever. Think about it. If we went back to the times where multiple men would compete for one woman, that man would most likely end up with a woman who's not feminine, but instead masculine, combative, and entitled. She'd expect men to fight over her like she's some kind of prize, while bringing nothing but attitude and unrealistic standards to the table. And let's be real, the quality of women today compared to back then isn't the same. Women in the past were raised with traditional values, knew how to nurture a relationship, and understood the importance of respect and cooperation. Now, many modern women have been conditioned to believe they are the prize no matter what they bring or don't bring to a relationship. This would be a complete waste of time. The idea that men should go back to competing for women, especially in today's dating market, is ridiculous.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman. I'm tired. I'm tired of being out here in these streets. I want to be in a little cocoon of comfort, of like a warm, fuzzy blanket and some fuzzy socks and a warm tea, and have someone come and take care of me. Is that too much to ask?
I am being so for real when I say I'm okay with being a stay-at-home mother. I am so okay. I'm done with this corporate world. I'm done with this corporate life. I'm done with the passive aggressiveness. I am done with the, oh my God, let's hop on a call. Oh my God.
I need to be in the bed, but I'm up and I'm just thinking like, if I knew that dating was going to be this bad, I would have stayed with my boyfriend from kindergarten. If I knew then that my life was going to be like this now, when I was in college and my parents was like, focus on that education. The boys will always be there. Don't focus on the boys. Get that degree. I would have never gotten that degree. I could have skipped a couple classes. I could have failed a couple classes, and I could have been married, 2 kids by now, working on the 3rd. I can't believe I wasted my good years, my good body. Ooh, and the body was bodying back then, so that I can get a high class education just for me to be broke and single?
Ouch! Now, there's nothing wrong with getting an education, but this is what happens to some women in the dating world when they finally decide they're ready to settle down. This woman prioritized education and career earlier on, believing she had all the time in the world for relationships. But now she's in her 30s, struggling to get a man, regretting not being married or having children. The dating world isn't as kind as it was in her 20s, and she's realizing that the same men who once pursued her are no longer available, or they're choosing younger women with less baggage. She thought her education and success would make her more desirable, but instead, she's finding that men aren't prioritizing those things the way she thought they would. Now, it's not entirely her fault, because her mother did tell her to prioritize her education, but this is still the reality. Now, in her 30s, she's realizing that while her education and career gave her financial security, they didn't give her the personal fulfillment she thought they would.
You have to be a bitch to men to get what you want. Men say they like nice women, but they don't. History proves that men love mean women. Women who set their boundaries.
You know what I hate? Moving. I'm not a fan. And it seems like I'm always fucking moving. And me and my mother move majority of our furniture, and it's like solid ass wood furniture. Our furniture is not light. Like, there are pros and cons to being a strong woman. Miss Independent. Don't want to be Miss Independent anymore. This is fucking tiring, bro.
But why am I badgered or called a gold digger or anything else when I say I don't want to work and I want my man to take care of everything for me financially, in life in general? I just want to be soft and carefree and worry free. Because these same men that has this standard that you speak of are the same exact ones that's saying,
what do you bring to the table?
What do you bring to... Exactly. What do you have to offer? Like, what? What are you talking about?
I am the table, okay? Now, do you
now
want...
have a seat and eat your plate.
It's amazing, isn't it? A lot of women say they are the table, yet no man is sitting at their table. They claim to be the prize, the catch, the ones men should be chasing. Yet when you look around, where are all the men lining up for them? Nowhere. And that's because men are starting to see through the act. If a woman just wants a man to take care of her entire life, give her a worry-free existence, and provide for her like she's a dependent, let's call it what it is. She's not a partner, she's a leech. There's really no other way to describe it. She doesn't want love, she wants sponsorship. And the irony? A lot of women proudly say they want this kind of life, but they disguise it under the illusion of being traditional. Yet, they bring none of the qualities that make a traditional woman desirable. They want a man to be the provider, the protector, and the problem solver, but they refuse to be the nurturer, the supporter, or the peace in his life.
You know what's so funny to me? How men think that independent women are independent because they want to. Independent women are independent because they have to, because that was their only option. We're exhausted, we're tired. Do you think we wouldn't be doing all this? No, we don't. No, we don't. And the problem is that because we're so independent and so used to be doing everything, we need somebody who is more alpha than us. And by alpha, I don't mean that has a deep voice or that has huge muscles or that walks like this. By more alpha, I mean that takes care of things without being told. They just know what to do. They just know how to take care of things. They just know how to do things so the woman can relax, sit, and stop thinking for a minute so her brain can rest. So yeah, independent women are independent because they have to, not because they want to.
Do you know what's funny to me? How women identify with the word independent when in reality they're just being adults. They act like paying their own bills, having a job, and handling responsibilities is some kind of extraordinary achievement when that's literally what every functioning adult is supposed to do. She says they're independent because they had to be, as if men don't have to be independent their entire lives. She mentions that independent women need a man to handle everything without communication. So is she saying they need a mind reader too? Because that's what it sounds like. If these women are so tired of being independent, then why did they fight so hard for it in the first place? They spent years pushing the idea that they don't need a man, that they can do everything on their own, only to find out that it would do more harm than good. This is just the reality.
Ladies, find you a man that can lead. I'm telling you, this whole independent woman thing, we don't need men thing, it's gotta go. I'm telling you, when you find a good man that is loving and serves the Lord and that leads your family, it feels so good to be able to take a step back and to support and nurture the family versus being the one who takes on all the major responsibilities of the relationship or just life or the direction of your family. It feels good to sit back in that role that God originally intended for us as women, to be the helpmates of our husband. I know a lot of people are going to be offended by that term, being a helper or being submissive, but it is beautiful. And honestly, when you're in that role that God had created, you do feel more at peace. Like, yes, it can be hard at times to want to submit control to someone else, but you're not only submitting it to your husband, but you're submitting to the Lord. You're submitting to the direction that the Lord is also putting on your husband's heart. That's why the most important thing is finding a good man and finding a man who serves the Lord when it comes to, finding a man that leads your family.
I don't disagree at all, but many modern women today really aren't worthy of a good man. They demand the best from men while refusing to be the best for a man. Just hearing the word submitting ticks them off, and the idea of serving a man, that's an instant turn-off for them. They see these words as oppressive instead of understanding that a healthy relationship requires teamwork, respect, and balance. They've been conditioned to believe that doing anything for a man, cooking for him, supporting him, or even just being pleasant and cooperative is beneath them. Meanwhile, they have no issue expecting a man to pay for everything, protect them, and provide a lifestyle they didn't earn. I do believe that good men and good women should build something amazing, but in a world where modern dating is broken, where men and women are constantly at odds instead of working together, that ideal is becoming harder to achieve.
I don't care what anybody says, but men love a mean woman. They want a mean girl. They don't want no soft girls anymore. As much as they swear up and down that they want a nice girl, that's not the truth. And I'm speaking from experience. I am such a nice lover girl, and that always bites me in the fucking ass. I believe in treating your man like a king, making sure he feels good. Something about making a man feel good makes me feel good. Like, oh baby, you had a long day at work? Go lay down. Let me give you a massage. You didn't eat today? Go ahead and watch your favorite TV show. I'll make some dinner while you relax. But no, guys don't want that. Guys want a mean girl. Guys want a girl that don't give a fuck. Guys want a girl that's going to be like, okay, you had a long day at work, and so what? Can I have your credit card so I can go to the store and buy me the shoes that I wanted? Oh, you didn't eat lunch today? Neither did I. Can we go out to a restaurant? I'm hungry as fuck. Those are the girls that they're actually looking for. It's like, no matter how hard I try, I can't be a mean girl. So I guess I'm just going to be single forever. Oh well.
Being nice truly has gotten me nowhere when it comes to men, okay? I gotta quit with the lover girl tendencies, okay? Honestly, at first, when you really don't actually care about a dude, that's when they like you the most, right? Because you actually genuinely don't care. But as soon as you switch that little lover girl on, and don't worry, I'm a lover girl too, it's like they are repulsed by it. And this is how you're going to stop being a lover girl, so that you can just bag them. Once they're bagged, then you can be a lover girl. But guys do not like it when you are overly like lover girly. Number one thing you can do if you want to bag a guy, what am I saying? I don't even have a boyfriend. I should not be giving.
First of all, men do not like mean girls. No man with self-respect wants to deal with a woman who is rude, entitled, or constantly looking down on others. The funny thing is, a lot of these women who act this way are speaking from a place of pain. They've been hurt before, but instead of taking accountability for their choices, they build walls, become bitter, and start treating all men like enemies. Think about it. If you keep picking the same types of guys, of course you're going to get hurt. You can't expect different results when you keep going after the same toxic, emotionally unavailable, or bad boy types just because they excite you. Then, when it all falls apart, instead of reflecting on why they keep ending up in the same situations, they blame all men. If a woman keeps experiencing the same heartbreak over and over, it's not men that are the problem, it's her choices. If she keeps choosing chaos, then she can't complain when her life turns into a mess.
I just need to get this off my chest. I am not an independent woman. I'll be the first to say it. I depend on my man fully. Thank God for husbands that are like super involved and help out at home.
Something I didn't really anticipate in my life being single is that the more successful you get, the more single kind of hurts. You would think it would be the opposite. I don't know if I want to admit this on camera, but maybe somebody else is feeling like this and maybe they need to hear it. Okay. I am a very independent person. I pride myself on I can do anything alone. You've seen me talk about it on here. But I'm at a point in my life right now where I am arguably the most successful I've ever been personally. I own my own home. I'm in my dream show in Las Vegas, about to start a top secret new project that is the first of its kind. Been doing commercials left and right. My social media is starting to kind of take off. I'm more financially secure than I've been in many years, all doing things that I built myself. But at the end of the day, I come home to my house that I bought myself, and I have nobody to talk to about any of this. I have tons of friends and lots of you in my DMs, but at the end of the day, I am still home by myself. And at the end of the day, I think the thing about being single that people in a relationship don't quite understand or forget is that you have a built-in person. You have a built-in friend all the time. I get invited to all these events and I'm always like, who am I going to bring? And then none of my friends can go because our schedules are not the same, and I'm always just like, well, am I going to go if I have to go by myself? And I usually end up going alone because being alone is never going to stop me. But I'm just getting tired. And ironically, the more successful I get, the worse this feels, not the better it feels. You would think it would be the opposite. You would think, oh, when you're successful and everything else is going right in your life, then that's going to suck less. You want to share those things with people. I want to go out and do stuff. I'm just kind of tired. Being independent is great, but sharing your life with somebody, the little things with people, not just the big going out for margaritas with the girlfriends or family functions. I want the little things all the time. Anyway, if you feel like me, you're not alone. I guess that's the point of the video. If you're a solid bad bee, keep rocking and don't settle. I don't want these things bad enough to settle. So I'm just waiting for somebody to meet me where I'm at, I guess.
This is what feminism doesn't tell women, that even if they have everything they ever wanted, if they have no one to share it with, it's meaningless. Just like this woman, there are plenty of others who feel the same way. They're independent, making a ton of money, living in nice apartments, traveling, buying luxury items, but at the end of the day, they come home to nothing. No family, no partner, no real sense of fulfillment. They were told that focusing on themselves and their careers would bring them happiness, that they didn't need a man, and that relationships and family could always come later. But now, later has arrived, and it's not looking the way they thought it would. The same job they once loved now feels repetitive. The money they worked so hard for doesn't keep them warm at night, and the social media validation that once felt good, it doesn't replace genuine human connection. So now what? Keep pretending that their career is enough? Keep convincing themselves that they're happy when deep down they're not? The truth is, success means nothing if you have no one to share it with. And a lot of these women are starting to realize that. But for some, it's already too late.